Good day, everyone. I'm Greg Funderburg, and we're here at the beautiful 618 in downtown Chattanooga for another segment of Let It Burn, sponsored by Rise Chattanooga. And today, we're cooking in the kitchen with Chattanooga City Councilwoman from District 9, Demetrus Coonrod.
Hello, my name is Curtis Green, along with my business partner Darian Scott, are the owners of 618 Restaurant Lounge. We're a proud sponsor of Let It Burn. We're located at 618 Georgia Avenue, where we offer soul food with a modern twist. We're open Tuesday through Sunday, and also you can follow us on all social media platforms. Thank you.
We're continuing our series now with the amazing Chattanooga City Councilwoman, District 9, Demetrus Coonrod. How's it going?
It's going great, Greg.
It is so good to be talking to you. And when you think about cooking, when did you develop a love for cooking?
Man, Greg, you know, when the pandemic hit and, you know, I was forced to be in the house, I was like, man, I gotta eat. So I need to really just start learning how to cook the food that I enjoy eating.
When you think about the pandemic, we all thought we were going to be in that situation for like a week or two. Mm-hmm. It's turned out to be a lot longer than what we thought it was going to be. What did you learn during that time about Demetrus Coonrod?
I was not patient at all. I was not patient at all.
So many of us were not patient. You know, when you think about the first time cooking in the kitchen, do you remember that as a child?
I remember. My first time was with my grandmother, and so I watched her all the time prepare her dishes. And you know, this was a time when she was raising my sisters and I, so it was like 7 of us in the house. And I watched my grandmother, like she'll stretch a meal, like you would think she feeding a family of 12. And it was just always, she, you know, would play some music, and she'll get her little ingredients and begin to cook, and we'll all be in the kitchen just watching, like, wow, and the end result, you know what I mean? And when she was making a cake, we'll always say, let us lick the spoon, let us lick the spoon.
When you think about those days with your siblings, with your grandmother, you know, every kid does not take to cooking. Were you the kid that was in the kitchen watching grandma?
Nah, I wasn't that kid. I was a kid, like, eventually, after I got over that little early stage, like, I'm outside playing. Like, I'm finna go talk to my friends. Like, let me know when the meal is done. But my sister Demetrus, she was the one who was always in the kitchen cooking. Or she would come, we would come home from school some days, and she already done prepared a meal. Or, you know, we trying to watch cartoons, she was trying to play the role of the cook in the house. Or my grandmother wasn't feeling well, she was that person who prepared the meal while I was busy doing other stuff.
When you talk about doing other stuff, we all know your story because you've written a book about your life journey. When you think about what you have gone through in your life, when your life was spiraling out of control, where were you in that time?
Man, you know, I was in a bad place. And when I think back, I should have been in the kitchen learning how to cook. You know what I mean? Like, because there's so many valuable lessons that I could have applied to my life when it was spiraling out of control. You know what I mean? Like, for example, you know, family, the value of family at that time, your family really mattering. You know, having that support system during that time. But I made those choices, and it, you know, my life began to spiral out of control then, so I lost those connections in a lot of ways.
When you think about looking back over your life, over the decisions you made, being in prison, getting out of prison, turning your life completely around, did you ever see this for yourself? Councilwoman, District 9 in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Well, you know, I always imagined myself just, you know, performing in front of people because I love spoken word poetry. Back then, in my earlier years, you know, I wanted to be a rapper, and I used to do battle rap a lot of times back then in the day.
Can you spit something right now?
Oh, I could give you some stanzas.
Okay, give us some stanzas.
On a hot mic. But one of my favorite rappers that I always liked to rap his music was Vanilla Ice.
Okay. All
right, stop. Collaborate and listen. Ice is back with a brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, full like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will they ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll blow to the extreme. I rock the mic like a vandal, light up a stage and watch the tump like a candle. Dance. But at that point, you know I'm crunk.
You know what? Oh my gosh, I never would have known that about you. When you think about that part of you and wanting to be a rapper, What would have been your name? We got Missy Elliott. We
Well,
got all these
I would've
Queen
might-
Latifah. What would have been your
I
name?
think I would have went by my nickname, Michi,
Okay.
where everybody already knew me by, and you know, it was just that, say Michi, Big Meech, you know what I mean? So it's like back then, but now I wouldn't go by that. Yeah.
When you are preparing to get married in 2022, what has it been like to develop a love story with your childhood friend?
Man, you know, it's been amazing. It's just been, it's done come around full circle. And when I thought, I'm like, man, I'm about to get married. Like, you know, I'm somebody who, you know, at a time in my life, like you just thinking you just disposable trash to somebody, or you just use for that moment of passion. And just somebody you own to the next. You're not really trying to build a relationship with, because when you think about my background, it's like, at that time in my mind, why would anybody be interested? Like I came with a lot of baggage at that time. But this someone who was persistent. You know, I've known him since elementary school. You know, we grew together, we learned a lot about each other. And what I love the most about him is that he forced me to get to know myself. And so that was the most beautiful part of it, because I thought I knew Michi, but I didn't know Michi. And it took me a long time to move from the persona of Michi and getting to know Demetrus.
When you think about the planning for this wedding, what would your grandmother say about this moment?
Child, make sure you got them white underwear on. Make sure you got them on.
Why? Why would she say that?
Because she was always, every time we would get ready to go to church, she'll be like, what color your undergarments on? It's like, because if something was to happen, you want to make sure you right, you know. And I used to be like, maybe I don't want to wear white today, you know what I mean? But yeah, I can hear her say that.
You are planning a wedding right now. What has this been like for you? Because, you know, every woman, I'm sure, probably dreams about the day that she can get married.
Yeah.
And some people, unfortunately, have not had that moment yet. Thinking about everything you've gone through, losing family members, losing a child, and going through the things that you've gone through to get to this moment.
Yeah.
What is this like for you to knowing your story? And
It's
what
been
you've gone
emotional.
through?
It's been a bit emotional because I miss my grandmother. I miss my mama, you know, my daughter, like the people that's important to me. You know, they're not going to be able to witness that moment. And I call friends, you know, crying about it, like, man, I'm about to lose it, like these, you know. But, you know, I journal about it a lot. I talk out loud about it to them. And so that's my confirmation, like, you know, they're still going to be there to witness it. But, you know, my heart, you know, I wish they was here physically.
I know that, you know, that is something that you desire and you want. I know they're going to be there spiritually with you.
Yeah.
And a part of our culture is food.
Yes.
When you think about the food portion of your life and being with family, what are those moments like for you with your kids, your other family members, siblings?
Oh man, it's like a party, a celebration in itself. Like we love to dance, we love to jug, you know, just doing all kind of stuff. And that when we come together, it's like, man, it's a party, it's a concert within itself, you know, because everybody bring their own dish, or we got the favorite auntie that bring whatever favorite dish that we love to eat, or my sisters or whatever. So normally, historically, I had been on paper plates. you know what I mean?
You know what they say about the paper plate
and all
person?
that kind of stuff, because they knew, oh, she can't cook, you know, that kind of stuff. But now, once I started ordering that Hello Fresh and started cooking and dabbling with different ingredients and learning how to cook, it's like now I done moved up a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, bring the green beans, make sure you put the potatoes in it. So
And you know, when I think about you moving up, you really have moved up because you are cooking an amazing dish.
Yes.
Tell us about the dish.
Oh man, so it's one of my favorite dishes, and that Anthony and I, we cook together, and it's lamb. And so I'm anemic, and after researching, you know, what foods will help me overcome that, lamb was one of those food choices, because I'm not really a person that like to take meds a lot like that. And so between beets and liver, I chose to eat, and I like beets too, but I prefer to have lamb. And just researching the benefits health-wise, it works for me. And it helps me to feel energized. So, you know, the cooking, the ingredients that I use to go in, I love garlic.
Okay.
And so I'm a garlic eater. Rosemary, it just, you know, all those ingredients that are really good for you. With salt, you know, I love garlic salt. like you know, like those kind of things. I'm really not a iodized salt user, but and I put a little pepper on it, you know, that kind of, and I cook with olive oil.
Okay.
They kind of, you know, season it and give it a good little flavor taste without having that greasy taste to it. Yeah, so every time I cook it, I think about Anthony.
So when you think about cooking today, for people watching, if they want to make your lambs, how can we do it?
They gotta call me. They gotta call me, so I go, you gotta put the love into it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, if they wanted to cook it, I purchase mine. I get the pack from Publix.
Okay.
So I get it, and they usually come in with a pack of, you can get 4 or 5 in them in each trip. You know, you gotta wash it off real good or whatever. Some people like to marinate it.
Yep.
If they wanna do that, or if not, you know, just put the basic seasonings on there, the meat tenderizer, your salt, pepper, you know, the garlic, whatever it is that you like to put in there. You know, I like to add butter every now and then to mine, and some sprinkle, you know, parsley and rosemary on top of it, but, you know, to garnish it at the end at times. So just different ways, depending on what side items that we're gonna have is the way that I kind of fix it.
So how do you cook it after you get everything seasoned and ready to go?
Yep, so you know, I already have it on your olive oil. That's what I prefer to cook mine in, and have it, you know, like just on medium heat, 6 per se, and then once it gets going, and you just lay, it's the way that you gotta lay it into the pan, you know what I mean? So once you take it off the plate, you gotta just carefully place it because it's delicate, you know what I mean?
I love it.
And then you just gotta feel the love. You gotta smile and give it good energy so it'll taste good, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So with every bite that you take, it's just, you know, as if I was eating. But yes, and then you get, you know, the flavor, like each bite that you take, like you will just, yeah, it's good.
So when you think about eating lamb, what other sides do you normally pair this with?
So I pair it with asparagus. I like mashed potatoes, or if I'm doing it with rice, I'll put some sweet peas with it. So I always, you know, pair it with something green
Okay.
anytime that I cook it.
You know, in our culture, you know, we're used to having, you know, neck bones, and growing up in the South, I'm sure all the people know about those things. But when you think about eating lamb, what did your family say when you first brought this to their attention? Like, we're going to try something different because with your health situation.
Yeah, they was like, why we eating this? Like, what a fried chicken at? Or what a, you know, and I'm like, well, hey, something done changed, so we got to, you know, this, and I tell them about the health benefits on it, so they love it every time I cook it.
All right, we're going to taste some right now. So we're back from the kitchen. Lamb. Curtis, first time having lamb. 618, by the way. Go ahead.
Let's try it.
It's good.
So, never had it. It's a sulfur, clean taste, actually, and it's delicious. It's seasoned perfect.
You cooked this, Demetrus Coonrod?
I cooked it. Oh my God! Y'all gonna make me cry. This the first time. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, it's really good.
It's
Yeah,
great. It's great.
It really is good.
Wow.
If I didn't like it, I would tell you.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I'm from Alabama. We'll be like, what's missing something?
Oh.
So I have to ask you, you know, when you see folks eating your food, family, friends, what is it like for you?
Man, it feel good right now because nobody outside of them has eaten my food.
Really?
So,
Really?
yeah.
We honored. So I have to ask you before we wrap up today, what's next for Demetrus Coonrod? I know you're on
Man.
city council now. Anything you can share openly, publicly? What are the goals and aspirations for yourself?
But you know, this was just a stepping stone. So, you know, I'm really strongly considering the next level. I say that. But I do want to tell everybody in November, on the ballot, there will be an opportunity to change the Constitution to remove language that the way that you can be a slave is through, you know, going to prison. And that language is going to be removed if we have enough people to come out and exercise their right to vote. So that's in November. It's very important because we most definitely want to end mass incarceration through slavery. We want to end that. So hopefully everybody will come out and vote.
All right, Demetrus Coonrod, Councilwoman Chattanooga, District 9, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
And again, it's always good to see Curtis Green with 618. Thank you for letting us be here today.
Definitely.
And we'll see you
Right.
next time on the next episode of Let It Burn.